Well, today is day 173 in our journey through the Word, and we continue in our reading through Amos. I've enjoyed this reading, as I hope you have. I'm reminded in today's reading of the power of prayer. We don't have to be a Billy Graham to be able to come before the Father, make our requests known to Him, and Him hear us. He hears the ordinary people, as Billy Graham is. We want to put people up on pedestals, but Moses, Abraham, David, these are all ordinary people who live extraordinary lives in their relationships with God because of their faith and trust in Him, and God is faithful to them. And God does and makes the same promise to you today as He does to me. And again, there's power in prayer. The power doesn't come from the one who says the prayer. The power is in the one who hears the prayer. The power is in God's hands. And when God hears our prayers, our earnest prayers, He hears those every time. And He responds every time, again, according to His timeline, according to His will. We see today in the reading where we encounter another priest, Amaziah, whose name means Yahweh is mighty. Now we've had Amos, who has been God has been showing him these visions of his wrath upon the people of Israel. And each time Amos says, "O sovereign Lord, please forgive us. Please forgive us." But Amos is sharing these visions that he's having, so the people know that God is wanting them to turn back to Him. They had become evil and had left their first love. So Amaziah, he was a priest of Bethel, who sent Amos the prophet home, saying he did not have the right to prophesy against the king Jeroboam II of Israel in the king's place of worship. He said he didn't have the right. Do we get some upset sometimes with the messenger because we don't think they're qualified? Again, God equips those He calls. He doesn't call the equipped already. Sometimes He does, but many times He just calls the most unlikely people in order to do mighty, mighty things. A Moses, he had been a slave, a prince, a murderer. A David, who likewise had been an adulterer, a murderer. He calls ordinary people to do extraordinary things. And He's done the same thing here with Amos. Amos said, "I'm not a professional prophet. That is not my calling in life. I am just a shepherd, and I take care of sycamore fig trees. That's all I do. I'm just a gardener. I'm a shepherd. I take care of the sheep. I take care of the sycamore trees. But he said, but the Lord called me." And Amos didn't turn from that call, and he responded. And he said, "The Lord called me, and He told me, go and prophesy to my people of Israel." And he did. He didn't turn and run. He didn't hop on a ship and try to run another direction. He answered that call. Now the message he had to give was a difficult message. Yet he was faithful to that. But this priest did not like that he was prophesying against the king of Israel, an evil king, which already been described. He did evil in the sight of the Lord. And so Amaziah did not like Amos prophesying. He told him, go, it says, get out of here, you prophet. Go back to the land of Judah and earn your living by prophesying there. He knew that he was prophesying, but he didn't like the message and he wanted to send him away. He was content in his priesthood, in the sins of the nation around him and the people. We see the power in prayer. Amos said in his prayers, as God would show him the discipline that he was getting ready to pour out, the wrath that he was getting ready to pour out on the people of Israel, Amos would say, "O sovereign Lord, please forgive us." And it says, so the Lord relented, the Lord relented from this plan. I will not do it, the Lord said. Relent means to soften in feeling, in temper, in determination. It means to become mild, compassionate, or forgiving. The Lord became forgiving. But there was a point where the Lord brought his wrath and his discipline upon the people. It had to happen for the people to turn back to him. Amos said to Amaziah, you say don't prophesy against Israel. Stop preaching against my people. But this is what the Lord said. This is what the Lord said. God was calling them back. He was calling them back to him. Yet it took his discipline before, sadly, it took his discipline before they would turn. Unlike the people of Nineveh, when God said through Jonah, turn back to God, and they did. They turned, and God spared them. In this case, the people of Israel did not turn back to God. The other piece I love in today's reading was at the very end, and it's that out of Isaiah, where it's Isaiah is speaking here, and I'm looking here real quickly because I didn't mark it in my reading, where it says, let me get here to the right spot. Isaiah says, then I saw. He said, I saw the Lord. He was sitting on a lofty throne, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Attending him were mighty seraphims, each having 6 wings. With 2 wings they covered their faces, with 2 they covered their feet, and with 2 they flew. They were calling out to each other, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of heaven's armies. The whole earth is filled with his glory. I love that description out of Isaiah of God on his throne, on his lofty throne, and the seraphim calling out, Holy, holy, holy. But God said in here, whom shall I send? Whom shall I call? And Isaiah said, here am I, send me. Like Amos, like David, like Moses, when God calls, are you saying, like Isaiah too, like when God calls, are you saying, here am I, send me? What is God calling you to do today? Is God calling you to intercede for somebody? What is God calling you? And are you saying, here am I, send me? Think about that today. Pray about that today. Listen today. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again tomorrow as we continue our journey through the Word.